Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Sheila Carter has made an impressive transformation on The Bold and the Beautiful. But has the former villain really changed her ways? Is Luna Nozawa's grandma about to lose everything because of her? Here's what's coming up next on Bold and the Beautiful. Spoilers down below. Sheila and Finn's complicated relationship. Sheila Carter Kimberlin Brown has spent a few years trying to convince Dr. John Finnegan Tanner Novlan that she has changed her ways. The ex-baddie was finally starting to make some progress with her birth son. Sheila actually mourned her granddaughter's death for a week before she put the clues together and realized Lee Finnegan and Naomi Matsuda had stashed their granddaughter at her apartment and she was still alive. But after she discovered the truth, Sheila helped keep her hidden rather than notifying the proper authorities. Will Finn forgive his birth mom? Lee Finnegan is technically just as guilty as Sheila this time around. In fact, she's the mastermind behind faking Luna's death. Luna's other grandma was really just an accessory after the fact. Lee raised Dr. Finn and has a good relationship with him. If Finn forgives what his adoptive mother did, doesn't he have to forgive his bio mother too? Do you think Finn will cut ties with Sheila Carter for good? What about Lee Finnegan? The Bold and the Beautiful has always thrived on tangled family dynamics, heart-wrenching betrayals, and the eternal question of forgiveness. But perhaps no current storyline has left fans more divided or emotionally invested than the one revolving around Dr. John Finn Finnegan, Sheila Carter, and Lee Finnegan. Both women, in their own ways, have shaped Finn's life in unimaginable directions. One gave him life in the literal sense, Sheila Carter, his biological mother, the most infamous villain in daytime history. The other, Lee Finnegan, gave him a life, raising him with compassion, structure, and values that molded him into the man fans adore today. But after everything that has happened, from Sheila's attempted murder spree to Lee's desperate deception, fans are asking the burning question: will Finn ever truly forgive either of his moms? Let's take a deep dive into the emotional complexity of Finn's story, the history that haunts both mothers, and what the latest spoilers suggest might come next for the good doctor's heart. The man torn between two mothers. Finn has always been a character built on quiet strength and emotional intelligence, a stabilizing presence amid the chaos that surrounds the Forrester clan. When he entered Steffy Forrester's life, he wasn't just another suitor. He was a healer, a man who offered her peace after years of heartbreak with Liam Spencer. But Finn's calm world was shattered the moment he discovered the truth about his biological mother, Sheila Carter. For decades, Sheila has been synonymous with manipulation, obsession, and destruction. Her crimes stretch across two major soap universes, The Bold and the Beautiful and The Young and the Restless, making her one of television's most enduring villains. Yet for Finn, Sheila represented something deeply personal, the missing piece of his identity. Finn wanted to understand her, to see the good buried beneath her infamy. It was a noble instinct, one that stemmed from his years of compassionate medical practice and the nurturing love of Lee. Unfortunately, Sheila's need for control turned deadly, quite literally. The shooting that changed everything. The moment that forever divided fans and changed Finn's life came when Sheila accidentally shot her own son while trying to kill Steffy. It was one of the most shocking, bold, and beautiful moments in years, both horrifying and tragic. Finn's near-death experience became the catalyst for months of emotional fallout, as Sheila went on the run and Lee secretly nursed Finn back to health after everyone believed him dead. At first, Lee's decision to hide Finn from the world seemed heroic, a mother's unconditional devotion. But over time, that act blurred into obsession. Her refusal to tell Steffy or the Forresters that Finn was alive created a wedge between her and the people who loved him. Sheila's death and miraculous return only made things worse, further twisting Finn's emotions. He was caught in a moral tug-of-war between two women whose love often looked more like control. Lee Finnegan's love, devotion, or possession? Dr. Lee Finnegan was long portrayed as the epitome of grace and intelligence, a woman who valued integrity above all else. But when her adoptive son's life hung in the balance, fans saw a darker, desperate side of her. She hid Finn in a secret location, risking everything to save him. And while her actions came from love, they also raised important questions about control and trust. Finn has always respected his adoptive mother deeply. She's the one who taught him empathy, professionalism, and discipline. Yet, as time passed, Lee's anger towards Sheila grew so consuming that it began affecting Finn's own healing journey. Recent episodes have shown Finn trying to balance his gratitude toward Lee with the frustration of her unwillingness to forgive, even after Sheila's supposed reformation. Spoilers suggest that Lee's rigidity could be a new source of tension in Finn's marriage to Steffy. Because if Finn can't move forward emotionally, how can he expect Steffy to? Sheila Carter, the mother who won't go away. Let's be real, Sheila Carter has 9 lives. No matter how many times she's presumed dead, jailed, or banished, she always finds a way back to Los Angeles. Her latest resurrection after her death and the toe incident, fans will never forget that wild storyline, proved that Sheila is nothing if not relentless. She insists she's changed, that her love for Finn and his family is pure. But can anyone, especially Finn, believe her? In recent episodes, Sheila has been trying to prove she can be a stable presence in Finn's life. She's working, staying out of prison for now, and even trying to build a friendship with Deacon Sharp, who's been her most consistent supporter. Yet, for every step forward, there's always a moment that reminds us. Sheila Carter doesn't know when to quit. Spoilers tease that Sheila will soon be confronted with a decision that could make or break her fragile connection with Finn, one that tests whether her maternal love is real or still rooted in manipulation. The heart versus the mind. Finn's struggle. Finn's greatest internal conflict has always been the battle between logic and emotion. As a doctor, he's trained to rely on facts and reason. As a son, he's torn by feelings he can't easily categorize. He understands Sheila's psychological instability, perhaps better than anyone. But understanding doesn't equate to forgiveness. And as he watches Steffy suffer from the trauma Sheila has caused, Finn's guilt deepens. The more Sheila tries to insert herself into his life, the more torn he becomes. On one hand, she's his biological mother, something no one can change. On the other, her presence endangers the peace he's worked so hard to protect. Lee's refusal to even consider reconciliation with Sheila puts Finn in an impossible position. He doesn't want to hurt Lee, but he also doesn't want to live a life built entirely on resentment. The spoilers hint that this emotional tug-of-war could explode in coming weeks as Finn faces a defining choice: to sever ties with Sheila forever, or risk losing Steffy by showing his mother even a sliver of compassion. Steffy's role in the drama. Steffy Forrester is no stranger to drama. She's a Forrester, after all, but Sheila Carter has taken things to a level Steffy could never have prepared for. She's watched her husband nearly die, been shot herself, and even lived in hiding to protect her children from Sheila's reach. So, when Finn expresses even a hint of sympathy for Sheila, Steffy's alarm bells go off. Fans have seen cracks forming in their marriage, and spoilers suggest that those cracks may widen. Steffy has given Finn an ultimatum before: choose your family or your mother. And while Finn wants to believe he can have both, the show's emotional weight lies in proving that he can't, not without devastating consequences. Upcoming storylines tease a major confrontation where Steffy demands that Finn finally make peace with his past or risk losing his future. But will peace come through forgiveness, or final separation? Could forgiveness be the key? Soap operas thrive on redemption arcs, and The Bold and the Beautiful has slowly been planting seeds that suggest Sheila may be due for one, at least in Finn's eyes. After years of terror and betrayal, even a villain like Sheila might crave genuine change. The recent scenes of her vulnerability, her confessions to Deacon about wanting to be a better person, could be the first step in that direction. If Finn sees that change, could he open his heart, even slightly? Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. it doesn't even mean acceptance. For Finn, it might simply mean letting go of the pain that binds him to both his mothers. Lee, for all her devotion, has also caused her share of emotional wounds. Sheila, for all her evil, has moments of genuine affection. Finn's journey forward may depend on whether he can find a way to reconcile those opposing truths. It's a moral conundrum and exactly the kind of emotional storytelling that keeps fans hooked. The spoilers. What's coming next? According to the latest B&B spoilers and behind-the-scenes buzz, several developments are on the horizon that could determine the fate of Finn's relationships with both Lee and Sheila. A heart-to-heart with Lee. Finn will reportedly confront Lee about her inability to let go of the past. He'll express gratitude for all she's done but make it clear that her hostility toward Sheila is starting to affect his marriage and emotional well-being. Sheila's test of loyalty. Sheila will face a moment where she must choose between protecting Finn's happiness and indulging her old impulses. This could be her final shot at redemption or the mistake that proves she'll never change. Steffi's breaking point. Spoilers tease that Steffi will issue a heartbreaking ultimatum. Either Finn severs contact with Sheila completely or she'll consider leaving Los Angeles for good to protect the kids. Deacon's influence. Deacon Sharp continues to be the wild card in Sheila's life. His belief in her redemption could sway Finn, especially if Deacon helps Sheila make a genuine gesture of remorse. A family crisis. Rumors suggest that a health scare or dangerous event involving one of the children could force Finn, Lee, and Sheila to come together, rekindling old wounds but possibly paving the way for forgiveness. The psychology of forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't just a soap opera theme, it's a universal human struggle. Psychologically, it requires empathy, understanding, and often a willingness to accept imperfection. For Finn, forgiveness may not come easily. He's been shot, manipulated, and emotionally torn apart by the two women he should be able to trust most. But psychologists often say that forgiveness isn't for the offender, it's for the one who's been hurt. In that sense, Finn's forgiveness wouldn't be about validating Sheila's actions or absolving Lee's secrecy. It would be about freeing himself from the emotional weight of betrayal. And perhaps that's the story the bold and the beautiful wants to tell. That even in a world of glamour and deceit, forgiveness can be the ultimate act of strength. The fan divide. If you scroll through fan forums or B&B social media pages, you'll see the split clear as day. Some viewers believe Finn should never forgive Sheila, arguing that she's irredeemable, a ticking time bomb that always reverts to chaos. Others see nuance. They point out that Finn, unlike most characters on the show, represents empathy and compassion. For him to reject his mother forever would contradict the moral core that defines him. Lee, meanwhile, has her defenders too. Fans admire her fierceness and loyalty, even if her decisions have been questionable. Some argue that Finn owes her unwavering allegiance since she sacrificed everything for him. It's this division that makes the storyline so compelling. There are no easy answers, only emotional truths that mirror real-life family complexities. The possible endgames. Let's explore the possible directions this could go, according to creative speculation and hints from B&B insiders. Forgiveness and redemption. Finn decides to forgive both his mothers. He sets strict boundaries but allows Sheila and Lee to coexist peacefully in his life. This outcome could give the show a rare sense of emotional closure. Tragic repetition. Sheila pretends to change, earns Finn's trust, and then betrays him again, perhaps endangering Steffi or the children. This would reset her villain arc and remind viewers why forgiveness can be dangerous. Lee's downfall. Lee's obsessive hatred for Sheila could drive her to make a rash decision, something that backfires and costs her Finn's respect. It would be a shocking twist for a character once seen as morally flawless. A heartbreaking loss. Rumors have hinted that tragedy could strike again, possibly leading to Sheila's real and final death. Finn might forgive her only in her dying moments, providing a bittersweet resolution to their tortured bond. A psychological breakthrough. Finn may finally seek therapy or emotional guidance, confronting his trauma head-on. In doing so, he might become the voice of reason that helps both women find peace within themselves, a full circle ending for his compassionate nature. Why this story matters. The Bold and the Beautiful has always been about family, love, and the messy consequences of loyalty. But the Finn Sheila Lee storyline strikes a deeper chord because it's about identity. Who are we when our family betrays us? How do we define love when it's tangled with pain? And can we ever heal from wounds that never seem to close? These are the questions Finn faces every time he looks into the eyes of the two women who call him son. Forgiveness doesn't mean surrender. For Finn, it might mean reclaiming control, choosing peace on his own terms, regardless of what Sheila or Lee decide to do next. Will Finn forgive his moms? If The Bold and the Beautiful has taught viewers anything, it's that redemption and destruction often exist side by side. Will Finn forgive Sheila? Maybe someday, but only if she earns it, truly and selflessly. Will he forgive Lee? Almost certainly, but that forgiveness may come with hard boundaries and painful honesty. The journey ahead promises heartbreak, hope, and possibly the most emotional evolution Finn has ever faced. And when that moment comes, when Finn finally stands before both his mothers, not as their son but as his own man, it will mark one of B and B's most powerful chapters yet. Because forgiveness, after all, isn't about forgetting the past. It's about freeing the future.